Hi, this is Rich Vernadoe with the Rich Vernadoe Show, and I'm sure all of you who have had any time online at all uh, with Facebook and other platforms as well are familiar with the incredible number of scammers that are out there. And these scammers can be all over the place. They can show up in Facebook swap shop posts. They can show up with friend requests, fake friend requests, I might add. Those are just some of the ways. What are some of the ways that they can appear in a Facebook swap shop? How can a scammer get involved in that?
Well, I've done Swap Shop for many years now, and I have probably about 51 in my collection. And here lately, I say lately, about the last 2 or 3 months, people will ask questions about your item, but all they're really trying to do is get your cell phone number so that they can get into your personal information.
Yep.
So I'd like to read one that came in yesterday, which is a whole new twist on how they can get your cell number, and I wanted to share it with everyone. And if anyone has any comments about how they've been scammed or what to look out for on Facebook or Swap Shop, please put it on the video. That's the purpose of these videos, to help people listen to this, and
Yes.
maybe they will hear something that might set off a light switch for them, and it might help them avoid a really bad situation like identity theft, which I did have happen to myself, bank accounts and all. It was a nightmare, and I'll share that with you as well. But what I want to read to you now is a question. I had listed a refrigerator on Swap Shop,
Uh huh.
and this person comes in and says, "We need this desperately for our disabled son moving here into the area. Please call my husband to set a pickup time." And she lists a number and says, "Thank you very much." Okay, well, as soon as you call them, they're going to have your number. So don't ever do that. If it involves a telephone number or they're wanting a code, that's the newest scam. They send you a code and then you reply and this and that and the other, and then long story short, they get into your information. Just there's no reason, as you can agree, that
Yes.
anyone would need your cell number if they're interested in coming in and buying the item or meeting you somewhere and buying the item. Cell number should never come into play at all.
And definitely not a code. There's no need for code if you're going to have a direct person to person transaction.
Right. And on friend requests from people that you're friends with that you know have active profiles, then all of a sudden you see a friend request pop up, please message the person first and ask them, have you started a new page? Is this really you? 9 times out of 10, you're going to find out that they've been hacked
Yep.
and that it's fraudulent.
Absolutely.
Always think of a question that you can ask someone. I had someone call me on the telephone one time pretending to be one of my art teachers from high school. And she sounded very legit. She was telling me that she had won $500,000, and since I was such a good student, she wanted to share some of her windfall with me and get an art project started. And I was like, oh, yeah. And I was buying it all the way up to this point. And I thought, okay, this is too good to be true.
Uh huh.
Always ask yourself that. If it's too good to be true, it probably is. So send up a red flag. So I did. And I asked the person on the phone after a long, drawn out conversation, which this lady sounded a lot like my art teacher. And she almost had me, but I said, okay, how has your husband been the last couple of months? I've heard he was doing real well. Well, I had known that her husband passed away 3 years before.
Mm hmm.
The next thing the lady said was, oh, he's doing great, better than ever. Best health he's ever been in. I said, okay, thank you, click. People will try anything.
Yep.
Another one, I walked into my house one day and I have Norton's antivirus installed on my computer.
Uh huh.
And when I walked in, my husband handed me the phone and he said, Norton's is on the phone and they need into the computer. They've got to make some adjustments. Your system's been hacked. Well, I had just come from my dad's house and there was a medical emergency and I was a little distraught, is the reason why I didn't catch this. And so I went into the computer, still very upset, got on the phone with the guy from supposedly Norton's Antivirus, which you'll never make me believe that the people that design the programs that help you get rid of viruses aren't the ones that put the viruses in the computer, but that's a whole nother video. So anyway, I sat down at the computer. I let him in the computer. I can see he's in it and he's going through the files and stuff. And then it dawns on me, uh-oh. And so I just reach down and I unplug it immediately. Well, at that point, it's too late because both of my bank accounts had been compromised, or at least ways I'm pretty sure they had. Because as soon as you call your bank, your any kind of place where you keep financial, and you tell them that you think that you have been hacked or that you've been hacked, I guarantee you that's where the nightmare is going to start because they're immediately going to protect themselves by closing down your account, which means you have to reopen account, get all new checks if you have checks, get a brand new debit card, and that can take up to 2 weeks to 30 days to complete this process. They do not give you a choice. I went to the bank, I sat down in the lady's office, and she said, "Oh, well, we're going to have to close your account." And I said, "Well, I'm not sure that it's been compromised." "Oh, well, no, we can't take that chance." So flip, both bank accounts got closed. A month later, I finally had 2 new debit cards, a few checks, and 2 brand new bank accounts, which I had to switch all of the bills around for auto pay and everything. It was a nightmare just because I let someone into my computer. Never ever let someone into your computer unless you're 100% for sure that it's legitimate. And that's not easy to decide because another time I had a problem with a computer, I looked up, believe it or not.
Uh huh.
So that was another thing